Hey, what's up, TGIF, everybody, and happy Labor Day weekend. Yes, is the start of Labor Day Labor Day weekend, if you will. Thank you all for joining me. I know some of you are probably watching two events happening right now, and that is Senator John McCain. Condolences and prayers go out to his family. Has been laid in a has been laid in a state, if you will, at the Capitol, the U.S. Capitol, and showcasing that. That's mostly on a lot of the major networks like CNN, Fox, even the over-the-air broadcast, ABC, NBC, CBS, you name it. But if you're looking for the memorial service, funeral service for Aretha Franklin, again, my prayers and condolences go out to her family. That is being shown on HLN, which I think is Headline News, and on BET. So, and probably VH1 as well. I'm not really sure, but those are the two that I know of. So if you still want to check those out, go ahead and check them out. But yeah, today is August 31st, 2018. I want to wish my older sister a happy birthday today. She is spending it with her husband in Reno at the Silver Legacy, or at least around Reno anyway. So she's there with her husband, her daughter, and her daughter and her son are at home because, of course, her son has school. It's his freshman year, so you don't want to miss school in like your first 2 weeks, if you know what I'm saying. Because he went back, I think, well, first couple of weeks, I should say. He went back, I think, on the 13th, or was it the 20th? I can't really recall. No, it was the 13th because what's unique about the school system out here, and I don't know if it's the same for any of the school districts where you guys live, but basically, my nephew goes to school, and every other Wednesday, and I guess somewhat every other Thursday. Maybe it was just something going on yesterday, but every other Wednesday, he and the rest of the school district get out early. Now, the younger kids get out early every Wednesday, mostly every Wednesday. We're talking younger kids like kindergarten to fifth grade, fourth grade, something like that. But the high schoolers and the middle schoolers, they get out at around 12:45, 1, between 12 and 1 every other Wednesday. Which means basically um, my nephew, not this one, not 2 days ago, but last Wednesday, what was today's the 31st or the 29th. So on the 22nd, he got out early. He got out early. Him and his school got out early. How do I know this? Because one of the things that kids like to do, the high schoolers mostly like to do, is they like to, the two main destinations are McDonald's and Walmart. And basically, since I work at the latter, yeah, kids like to go there and have some fun, if you will. Basically, walk around, kill some time before they have to head home. Probably buy a few things. Mostly what kids buy, and I'm sure it's not just with my job. I'm sure it's places like Target, Save Mart, Knob Hill, the mall. Mostly kids like to do is just buy little snacks, little food items, and that's it. Sometimes kids go in there and they'll go to the bakery area, from what I understand, and they'll get a piece of bread or a piece of not a, well, yeah, somewhat of a piece of bread, but basically like a roll, a piece of a bread roll, if you will. They'll get a bread roll and they will eat it partially and then just leave it or throw it away and not pay for it. Sometimes they'll go and drink a soda, 12 ounce or 24 ounce of soda bottle, like the kind I buy at times, and they will disregard it. And what I mean by disregarded is they'll only drink a little bit and place what they didn't drink on the shelf, and then that's it. So yeah, just typical teenager stuff, and it's that will kind of tie in a little bit. Well, not really, but just a little bit with one of the topics. But yeah, that's mainly what they do. And I had a feeling that I was going to be one of those employees at a job like mine that was going to experience that because, I'm not a parent, but I am an uncle. So I had a feeling that was going to happen, and it did. And it's going to happen time and time again. So I got to get used to that because we don't got no mall in Patterson. The closest mall is in Modesto, and I think there's like a small little mini mall or something like that in Turlock or Los Banos. But yeah, we're the only one. So yeah, my job becomes basically goes from Walmart to Wal Mall, if you know what I'm saying. That's basically what it becomes. It goes from Walmart. You take the A, you take the R and T off, and you put LL, and it's Wal Mall. That's basically what it becomes. So yeah, the other, so yeah, that's what they do. We have a teen center, but they don't like going there. So why do we even have it up? Is my question. They have a teen center, so I don't know why they don't just put it up, or why don't they just? I mean, to me, the only benefit is they do have security patrolling the areas. They didn't have much patrolling the first short Wednesday that they had this year, but they did have some, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have more as time goes on to make sure kids don't get all ruckusy and all that. So so that's a positive there. But if I'm the school district, if I'm in charge of the school district of any kind, and I have a system to where my high schoolers and middle schoolers get off early every other week on a certain day, then I make sure that part of that deal to let them do this, to allow this to happen, is they have to go, if they're not going to go straight home, to go to the teen center or the rec center and hang out there, for a couple of hours. Don't go just to the mall or your local supercenter or whatever and, make a mess of things. Go where you can at least get that energy out in a positive way. And I think the one thing that's missing, because, there is talk of bringing one here, is an arcade. Now, they do have an area near Walgreens fenced off. It never had any fence. It was never ever fenced off, but now it is. And they have like construction vehicles in there. And basically that kind of tells me that it's on the verge of something being built there. There's talk of a Pizza Hut, a Burger King going over there. And this is right across from like Mountain Mike's and McDonald's and stuff. So it'll be interesting. I think more than likely we're going to get a Pizza Hut or something. There's another thing that's being talked about being put over there that might be beneficial for the kids. Maybe. Because I think it's supposed to be partially like an arcade to where they got some games they could go play and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Excuse me. Like I said, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's basically what the kids. So basically, yeah, that's what these kids like to do. That's what these kids like to do. And again, like I said, the reason I bring that up is because, like I said, usually me and my mom would have him for the weekend when my sister and her husband would go out of town to celebrate her birthday in Reno or at Black Oaks or Thunder Valley, something like that. We usually have him for the weekend, but now that he's about almost 15, he's at that age where he doesn't want to be, watched over, babysat all the time. So he's just starting to grow in his own independent life, even though he's got to stick with it, even though he's got to stay with his sister. So that's the only thing. Hopefully, all glory to God, nothing happens while they're both there. I don't think it will. I think they'll just leave each other at B. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to be surprised if my mom gets a call saying, hey, can you go get my son when you get off work, because I don't trust him. or I don't trust what could happen there. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's up to them. But yeah, getting back on topic of this video, it is, like I say, Labor Day weekend, Labor Day 2018 weekend, Labor Day 2018, as you can see in the hashtags and the title. Yeah. And here where I live, we're having a fall festival this weekend. Kind of, I wouldn't say on par with the Patterson Apricot Fiesta, but I guess it's something that we do. It's basically like our equivalent of it. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens. Really interesting. So might check it out. Who knows? Anyway, like I said, as this video talks about, this is a Labor Day 2018 weekend edition of Topics on My Mind. Labor Day 2018, I should say. And we're going to look at the various topics. And I do apologize for any kind of lag or abrupt interference. As I've mentioned before, I have the XB6 modem from Xfinity Comcast. And it seems that when they advertise and put a lot of emphasis on the Wi-Fi in the commercials, it seems that they ain't kidding, because it basically will knock me out because other people will be getting on the Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi signal coming from them will knock me out temporarily. And I'm sure it does the same to them. And I'm plugged in via Ethernet. I have an Ethernet cable connected to the thing. So, it still knocks it out. When other people do the Wi-Fi. Anyway, various topics. We have, I think, if I can get it back here, 5 topics to talk about here. Hopefully this won't go too long. So let's get started on them, shall we? First topic I want to talk about is last night, and as is this week, and somewhat last week, as I'm also checking the site here because this is basically part of the topic I'm going to talk about. First topic is Windows 10, Microsoft did it again. Or did they? Let me explain. A couple of days ago, I should say, Windows or Microsoft decided to, I guess, start doing a load, or I don't know what it was doing, because I walked away from my computer, and normally when you walk away and it's not in use for a bit, it goes idle. Whether you have it on sleep mode or you don't, it goes idle and the screen goes blank, right? Like the computer's off. But normally all you have to do is press a key or a button or whatever, or touch the screen, it comes back on. Well, when I went to do that the other day, it didn't do anything. And I'm thinking, oh no, now what? So it wasn't doing anything. So what I did was a forced shutdown. I pressed the power button, did a forced shutdown. There you go. And then I turned it, and then after a bit, just after a few moments, a minute or so, I turned it back on. Sorry about that. I turned it back on, let it do its thing, because it has to, because when you do that and then you start it back up, it does the normal, like it gives you the logo of the computer you have, and it gives you the little spinning logo thing. Now, normally that shouldn't take long, take like a few moments. But when you do a forced shutdown, apparently it takes a lot longer. Like it takes a couple minutes, something like that, because it's got to get all its bearings back together. And then when you get to your welcome screen and you type in your password or your code, that takes a bit too, because it's got to get all its bearings. And then the loading takes a lot longer. But the moment okay, things are clear, even though the loading or things are kind of more stabilized, even though you still have the loading light on, what I do, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, is I go and shut the computer off normally, wait a few moments, then turn it back on, let it do, and everything seems to flow as normal as usual, and I let it do its thing. And it doesn't take, and lately it hasn't really taken so long to where it takes about maybe 10, 15 minutes tops, 20 minutes at the most, maybe even a half hour at the latest, to have everything uploaded. Lately it's been getting a little quicker, about, like I'd say, about 15 to 20 minutes tops 10. Basically, the earliest is 10 to 15 to maybe 20, but mostly around 10, depending on the load time or depending what it's going to load up. So, yeah, Windows basically this past week or so has been doing it again. I've been Googling a lot of information on it, and apparently there are some updates coming up or have come up. Now, one thing that Microsoft has come out and said, and it's been reported, is they plan to do updates that are very slimmed down. In other words, not as noticeable, I guess. So if what happened to me, yes, a couple of days ago, and mostly what happened last night was part of that, slimmed down, barely noticeable updates and patches, I'm going to say this. Microsoft, that wasn't unnoticeable. That wasn't non-noticeable. It was noticeable. It was. Because if that's what happened last night, it went for about, this is what happened. Again, it did exactly what it did a couple of days ago. And I'm thinking, all right, just let it do its thing. But then again, when I tried to move the mouse, thinking, okay, it's time, it's enough time has passed, it wouldn't do anything. So I did another forced shutdown. I did what I did again, normal, whatever. And then when I got the opportunity and things were kind of stabilized, I shut it down normally. Then I brought it back. Then I brought it back up normally after a few moments. And then afterwards, it still decided to go that route, even after I, kind of went through that routine again. So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. I pray, I gave all glory to God, basically, because basically God was telling me, just leave it be, Brian. Be patient with it. It's going to do this. It's got to do this. Let it ride it out. So basically I would constantly check on it. I would constantly check, and almost about 2 hours afterwards, almost about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more. I would say about 2 hours plus. I would say more than likely 2 hours, 10 minutes to 15 minutes, maybe. I can't remember. But around the 2 hour mark, if not a little over, it finally stabilized. The loading light went off, and whatever it was doing, whether it was doing a Windows Defender security virus scan or was doing a slimmed down update and uploading patches and uploading patches that fixed a lot of bugs or whatever was in the April 2018 major update that they had, finally ended. But it still on occasions would have the load light come on saying, hey, we still got more. Heck, when I was on the browser like I am now, on the internet like I am now, it didn't really do it it did light up, and it kind of like delayed a little bit, just a bit of the actions I wanted to take, but still everything was flowing fine afterwards, even with the load light. So again, the question that this first topic is asking is, did Windows do it again, or did they? And somewhat, I think they did. I'm not saying that I had to, because I would go and check. Like, I'll check right now, and I'll click on the power button, and it just says a regular sleep, shutdown, restart. Even after what happened last night, I went and checked. And even when I got enough time, when it stabilized just enough to do it, I would check. And it would still say sleep, shutdown, and restart. Because I'm always cautious that when I see something like that happening, we're going to get an update. And instead of just saying sleep, shutdown, restart, it's going to say update. It's going to say sleep, update, and shutdown, or update and restart. That's what it's going to say. So I looked at that and I'm like, no. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know what's going on here. So my thought process was that it was either doing a Windows scan, it was either doing a virus scan, or it was basically that slimmed down update that they were talking about that Windows uses, Microsoft will use to update patches and bug fixes to make sure everything works properly and more stabilized. But then something else came up. Something else I looked up. I went to settings. I went to settings to see what I could do. I went to updates or something like that. And I noticed that there was wording in there that said, You have the option of turning this off or turning this on. If you turn it on, it makes things go faster. You turn it off, it'll still be okay, but it won't go as fast. And that is basically, I don't know what it's called again, but basically it's part of your local network. So any computers connected or attracted or whatever to that local network, I don't know what it is. Basically whatever they download could sometimes be downloaded to you. I don't know. It's like it's kind of weird. So I don't know exactly what it was. So I don't know if maybe that local network thing that I read up was part of that. I don't know. But I am going to say this, whatever the reason is, if I'm Microsoft or any other software provider, whether they're Microsoft, whether they're Apple or whoever, hold on for a sec. I was checking something there, folks. But like I was saying, whether they're Microsoft or whoever, whether they're Microsoft or whoever, Apple, whoever it is, Microsoft, Apple, Macs, you name it. Whoever provides some kind of software similar to Windows 10 or the Windows 10 series, all of them need to fix whatever issues they have. And what they need to fix, honestly, folks, and this is the truth, is I think probably the best option, the best fix they can come up with, or at least the more reasonable fix, is to basically notify us when they're going to do things. I mean, you put this little notification icon on the upper right or upper left or bottom right corner of the screen, and you just decide not to use it when you should be using it. I mean, I'll tell you what just happened this morning. Okay, if I can get to it, let me check this out. Hold on. Okay. So I had a scan drive for errors. I don't know why it said kickstart the scan. And then I got a feedback hub, and that's security and maintenance. All right. Then I got a feedback hub saying, how likely are you to recommend this Windows 10 PC to a friend or colleague? And I'm thinking, well, you got this little notification thing, right? And obviously, I guess that's what it was last night, because it did stop around that time. It did stop around that time where obviously that's what it was doing. It looks like it was doing a scan or something, but now it's saying click the scan for errors or something like that. And that was at 11:02 yesterday. Anyway, long story short, they got this notification icon, this little balloon bubble icon for notifications. Why don't they use that to pop up a notification and tell people this is when and where they're going to do either a virus scan or an update, minor or major, so that way people are prepared? I mean, it would be more courteous if they did that and said, well, to me, it'd be very courteous, because basically you'd be telling people, hey, on this date and around between this 12-hour time limit or this time here, we're going to be doing maintenance or we're going to be doing an update. You might want to stay away from your computer for the time being. Like if they decided to do an update, even a minor one, between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. or 7 p.m. and 10 p.m., let's say tomorrow night, or let's say this upcoming Tuesday, if they would say, hey, on the 4th of September, on Tuesday, September 4th, we're going to be doing a maintenance check on your PC between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. That starts between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. That's going to go, or basically something that say, hey, we're going to do a maintenance check that goes from 7 p.m. local time, 7 p.m. PST or EST or whatever to 10 p.m. Um, you and to me that would be the courteous thing to do, because then at the same time they could say you might want to stay off your computer between those next 3 hours, because we're doing updates or we're doing a maintenance check, so you might certain functions may not be available or certain actions may be delayed. So if I'm Microsoft or any other provider out there, sorry about that. Sorry about the delay. Sorry about that lag there. That's my fault. Alt there. Sorry if there was any lag. But like I said, if I'm Microsoft or any provider that has a software similar to Windows 10, then I basically, and this is the truth, my dog just hit this microphone stand there. But I basically, out of the courtesy of my heart, and if I want to keep my consumers happy, I use that notification icon that I have, that little speech bubble icon that I have, and I use it to notify people when and where I'm either going to do a minor or major update, how long it's going to take, between whatever time it comes on, or if I'm going to do a maintenance check, and again, when and where it's going to happen, and between what times it will occur, and how long, to me, and how long it's going to take, because I think it would just be very courteous of them to do it. Because honestly, there's a lot of students, young and old, that go to college online that don't need to deal with that. I mean, the last thing they need to deal with is all of a sudden they're trying to research something for the astronomy class, and they can't Google whatever they're researching because the typing's delayed or something, all because Microsoft or whatever your provider is, or whoever the software provider is, decides, oh, we got to do updates now. Hold on, updates. Got to do updates. Or got to do a maintenance check. Maintenance. Oh, wait. Oh, we're not done yet, sir. Maintenance. It's like, seriously, it's dumb. Not it to me. Well, it's not dumb. Lord, forgive me for saying that. It's not dumb, but it's uncourteous to not let people know when you're going to do something. There have been some antivirus programs that I've had in the past, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's had some of these. I've had the AVG, I've had Norton, I've had McAfee. Probably we'll get that back in the future. But normally, a lot of them would always be courteous enough. I should say, you would be courteous enough to let me or any other consumers that they had know when and where they would be doing a virus scan and how long it would take. And at times, I think they'd be even courteous enough to say, "Hey, you may not want to do anything on your computer at this time." So at least they'd be courteous enough to do that. And that's something that Microsoft and all the other software programs that have their own virus scan security, their own Defender security, need to learn. Hey, we need to notify people when we do a possible virus scan or a maintenance check. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do, folks. And that's the truth. It'd be very courteous if you did that. Be very courteous. Not just to me, but to everybody that's a consumer of your product. It would be very courteous to do. And I think anybody watching or inevitably watching would agree with that. I think they would. Now, with that said, let's talk about the other topic that I have. And hold on, I'm going to do something for a second. Again, apologize for any lag. And I will be right back in just a moment. I don't want to do that. Hold on. hold on, folks. But yeah, the next topic's going to be an interesting one. It's kind of relatable, I think, to any job. And I'll be right back. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me from here, but I'm just outside. My dog had to go to the restroom. Again, sorry about this, folks. My dog had to go restroom. Go. Oh, sorry, folks, for that enormous delay. Yeah, but apparently I stepped in something. It wasn't like crap or anything. So I do apologize for that enormous delay. That's probably the longest I've ever done that. And I apologize for any interruptions while I was gone. You know, lags or whatever. Hopefully you heard me from the window. But yeah. There. Again, sorry for the abrupt interruption of almost 10 minutes, so I do apologize for that. I'm going to see how long it was, if you will. But yeah, the next thing I wanted to talk about, I'm going to try to look it up again. Oh, yeah. Second thing I want to talk about is customers' apathy at times. Odd behavior at retail, grocery, supercenter stores, malls, you name it. Now, I talked about how, you know, teenagers will turn a store like a Walmart or a Target into their own personal hangout after school, especially if they have a short day. But they're not the only ones, and I don't mean any disrespect. God, you know I don't mean any disrespect, Lord. You know I don't. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, guys. For those of you that work in the retail business, like I do, you work in the retail business. Depending on your job, how many times have you dealt with a customer that seems a little odd to you? And again, God, I don't mean any disrespect, you know that. But they seem a little odd to you, like there's something off about them. Well, check something here, see how long it was. Yeah, that's about right. Almost 10 minutes. So I do apologize for that 10-minute absence there. So I do apologize. But yeah, how many of you, like I said, depending on, you know, the job you work in retail, how many of you have dealt with those kind of people? It just seems like, you know, something's off about them. Like something just doesn't seem to add up. And again, Lord, I don't mean any disrespect by this. You know, I don't mean any respect, Lord. Please forgive me in your name, I pray. Amen. But how many of you have dealt with customers like that? A lot, right? Probably more than you want to, more than you can keep count. But yeah, my job isn't any different, and neither is anybody else's. But when I talk about at times, I'm not saying it's all the time, but it's basically when it happens or when it's noticeable. It's like, you know, what's going on here? You know, what's the deal? You know, that's always the question that gets, you know, stuck in my mind. Like, you know, what's going on? What's the deal? What's the problem with this person? And there's various amounts of people that sometimes it's just a medical condition and sometimes it's age. And I completely understand that. A couple of days ago, I went on Facebook and even though I deleted it, I talked about somebody, a customer at my store. And not just my store, it could be at any store. Let me put it that way. But I talked about a customer that could be at any kind of store. Because I'm pretty sure this isn't the only kind of, I'm sure this person's not the only one that's like this. And again, Lord, please forgive me. I don't mean any offense. But this customer, and this customer is a senior citizen. And so I can understand if it's age and all that. And, I can understand if it's age and he's got a disability. I can understand that. And Lord, forgive me. I'm not trying to say anything wrong. Lord, forgive me in your name, I pray. Amen. But this customer, ever since I've been there, at least in the past year, seems to have this habit. It's a daily thing, too. And one of my bosses is pretty much getting annoyed by this. And I'm sure they're not the only one, because I have a variety of bosses in the area that I work in, region bosses, area bosses. Basically, there's a boss or manager, if you will, for every part of the store. So I have a variety of what we call front managers, or basically, front managers of, how do I put this? Front managers, checkout managers, at the start of the store managers. You get the idea. Basically, I have those kind of managers, and I have a variety. And like I said, there's one that's getting annoyed by this, and there are others, and the fellow managers in that same position also feel the same way. But there's nothing we can do, because apparently he's not doing anything wrong. He's not doing anything harmful, although it's becoming a hindrance that this person, keeps doing this on a daily basis, that even the fellow customers are getting annoyed by it. Case in point, many months ago, or several months ago, this individual, the senior citizen was doing this. And one lady that's a regular customer, she's very kind of like tell it like it is, senior citizen, has to, at times when she's shopping there, has to use these mart carts, these electric carts, if you will, to get around and shop. And most times when she's done shopping, we go as associates and employees to help her out, because she needs help out, unloading, certain groceries and stuff, or most of her groceries, because she mainly has to focus on getting back in her vehicle. So, sorry about that. Long story short, several months ago, she needed a mart cart. And when it gets busy at certain times, and it does get busy during certain times of the day, whether it's after school, after work, it's a holiday weekend, it's summer, whatever, 4th of July, you name it. She needed a mart cart. And like I say, she's very tell it like it is, at times can have a short temper. And this senior citizen that I'm talking about that does this on a daily basis, where they come in, ride the mart cart almost for about 2 hours plus. She tried to see if the guy would let her use it, because apparently all this senior citizen does, that, like I say, comes in and does this on a daily routine, is he goes in, rides it around, stops at the local, it stops in at the local fast food chain in our store, because a lot of Supercenters and places have their own little food chains. He stops they stop in there, get themselves an icy, and then they just keep going on and on, to the point that a lot of us at the store that have seen this happen, associates, managers, you name it, kind of have the senior citizens pattern down to a T. They come in, ride the mart cart around. They go in and out of the store. They go out of the store and park the mart cart. And instead of getting up and maybe going and sitting down on the bench, letting somebody else use it, they instead sit down on the mart cart. They smoke. After they smoke, they come back in, go to, like I say, the local fast food place in the store, get an icy, ride around again, ride back outside, do another smoke, ride a wind, come back in, rinse and repeat. Basically, rinse and repeat, like I said. And this is getting on the nerves of a lot of folks. And they're like, what is going on? Now, I can understand, and God forgive me, for saying anything bad, but I can understand maybe it's a medical condition. Maybe he needs to do this on a daily basis. And if that's the case, fine. Whoever his caretaker is or doctor is, have him bring in a note. Have him fast forward a note to us saying that at this certain time, this person has to ride these mart carts around to keep him stabilized. Okay, fine. But why is it at the hindrance of fellow customers? That's what I would like to know. I mean, yes, there are some people that are patient to wait for other mart carts to get done. What I'm saying is, I understand that I understand that there are senior citizens that are willing, or people that need to use the mart carts, that are willing to basically wait it out. They're willing to sit down on a bench or at the local fast food place, sit down and wait. And then when one mart cart becomes available, they'll either have a relative go out and get it, or we as associates and employees or managers will go out and get it for them. So that way nobody else takes it. But it becomes a hindrance, though, when you're limited to having so many electric carts in your store. I think at my store we have like 4 to 6. And 3 of them are being used for shopping use, but one of them is being used by somebody who's just going to ride around like it's their property. And again, I'm wondering if it's a mental situation. If it's a mental situation that they think that's their property and that they can do whatever they want. Now, again, I'm not saying that he's doing anything wrong. Honestly, I shouldn't say he's doing anything wrong. But if all this individual comes in to do is ride the mart cart in and out of the store, go outside, smoke while he's sitting on it, come back inside, get an icy or whatever, rinse and repeat, eat, with the exception of getting an icy because he already got one. If that's all you're going to do, then why don't you just take a break, give it to somebody else that needs it to shop? And I understand that people will use it for about an hour and a half to shop. And that's reasonable because then you see the evidence in the cart. But again, like I said, I know he's not probably doing anything wrong, and maybe it's a medical condition. Maybe mentally, because as you get older, sometimes your mind wanders. No offense, Lord, no offense. Please forgive me in your name, I pray. Amen. But your mind tends to wander, starts to flash back to other things, maybe dementia, if you will, and or Alzheimer's or whatever, and you think, oh, I'm back in this time, or oh, this electric cart's my car. I'm going to ride it around town. Again, I don't know. I can't really say. But it's odd that on a daily basis, this person does the same thing almost every day. And sometimes it's at the same time, and most times it's at the same time. It's between 2 and 2:30, and from what I understand, he rides it to about maybe 5, maybe 4:35, or 4:30. Basically, from what I've seen, most times this person does this. They do it between 2 and 2:30, and they go to about 4:30, which is about 2 hours, or even 5 at the latest. Why? I don't know. Why? I don't know. But again, we as associates and managers and employees, we can't really do anything because honestly, he's not doing anything wrong, except in the eyes of other customers and other senior citizens that need to use that cart. It's basically becoming a hindrance. And Lord, I don't mean any harm by saying this. In your name I pray, amen. Please forgive me. In your name I pray, amen. But it's a hindrance. And again, I don't know what the reasoning is. I don't know if he has a medical condition that is required that he does something like this on a daily basis. I don't know if we're the only store in town, because there's a Save Mart right across from us that he does this in. Maybe he does it at Save Mart. I don't know. Maybe he has dementia. We don't know. We don't know. But again, Lord, please forgive me. I don't mean to be offensive in saying any of this. Please forgive me, Lord. In your name I pray. Amen. But again, we don't know. And like I said, a couple of months ago, a female senior citizen who's a regular customer, is very down to earth, if you will tell it like it is, and kind of at times will have a short temper, was not happy at the fact that this guy went right past him. And when I think she had a family member with her, tried to ask him about it, he ignored them and just kept going. He says, oh yeah, I don't know what he said, but he just kept going. And it made her mad. And the same thing happened a couple of days ago. In fact, the person that got mad about it, and I tried to reassure him that the other carts were working, even though they didn't look like they were. And he apologized to me about it on the bus, because he was riding the same bus I was as I was heading home. Basically, the guy ignored him. Now, I don't know if maybe he's deaf. Again, we don't know. But he ignored him. It's like, I don't know if he said something to him, but he just ignored him. He just look, I don't know. But I think, honestly, it's got to be some kind of medical condition, because, like I said, as you get older, certain things start to deteriorate, mind-wise and all that. Not just physically, but mind-wise and all that. So things start to deteriorate, and I understand that. And maybe mentally, it's something in here. Maybe his mind's deteriorating. Maybe he's got a little bit of dementia on Alzheimer's, and he's flashing back, and maybe he thinks this electric cart's his car. I don't know. Only God knows. And Lord forgive me if I'm saying anything wrong. But only the good Lord above knows the answer. But like I said, it's getting to a point that even, like I said, my bosses, my fellow managers are getting, annoyed by this. In fact, one is saying, look, this guy, I'm going to talk to this guy in his own way. Said, look, I'm going to talk to this guy about the situation, because recently he dealt with another customer that's been having a habit of doing things, and it's not really flying very well with us. Long story short, I don't know what happened, but apparently this person's done this before, to where they try to return items or do this and that, and they have no receipt or something, and they're trying to get money for it. And this person obviously might have some mental issues or medical issues as well. Lord forgive me for saying that, but they might have some mental issues as well, because this guy is doing this. Once again, he's obviously done this before. He's obviously done this on numerous occasions. And he gets upset with one of the cashiers. She starts, she tries, I think it's a she. Yeah, it was a she, one of my fellow cashiers. She tries to explain to him the situation, and he starts kind of going off, and he starts saying things like, "Why are you picking on me?" And it's like, what? So again, I can only assume it's a medical. Again, I can only assume that it's a mental condition. That's all I can assume. Because why would somebody, why would somebody basically say say something along the lines of, "Why are you picking on me?" Or ask a question along the lines of, "Why are you picking on me?" I don't get it. And then there are some customers that will shout in the store, and sometimes they'll shout for no reason. There's a shout to get somebody's attention, but that person's right there. It's like, it's weird. It's weird. And again, I know I can't be the only one that deals with that in retail, but it's just weird. Like I said, it's just this odd behavior that really throws us off. And with the fact that we're getting close to the holiday season, and the fact that we're getting close to the holiday season, it's only going to get a lot weirder and stranger. I only hope to God, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us are hoping this too, that this senior citizen that has a habit of doing on a daily basis with the Mart cart, hopefully somebody talks to him and makes him realize, hey, we're getting close to the holidays. Basically, I'm hoping somebody talks to him and says, look, dude, we understand this is probably something you have to do because of medical reasons or whatever, but we're getting close to the holiday season and you're not going to be able to do this much anymore. So you might want to find another means of transportation, or you might just not want to be in the store that much because of holiday shopping and all that. Because you can only imagine that something like that, with all due respect, God, becoming a hindrance. But again, I ask of you guys, have you dealt with that in whatever jobs you deal with? Whether it's retail, groceries, supercenters. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on that. So, anyway, next up. All right, next up. It's a bit of a wrestling one, but tomorrow, the independent wrestling show or super show, All In, will happen. Now, unfortunately, I won't be getting it on pay-per-view as much as I should, and it's cheap. Right now, I don't have the money to do so. And I need to pay my cable bill as is before I do anything. I might get the replay. Maybe somebody on Facebook, might put it up on streaming. I'm pretty sure there is somebody that will. But yeah, I can't. I mean, I could get it and everything, but I don't know if we might do something tomorrow as a family. I don't know. But I think it's going to be available through a certain Facebook page, and hopefully that happens. But the question I have is, will All In be a success? Well, it's going to be a good question. I know the last time that they tried to do an independent super show was Super Clash 3 back in 1988. I mean, they had done it before, but I mean, the AWA had done Super Clash before. American Wrestling Association had done it before. But I can't really say. But here's the thing: when they did the third Super Clash from the UIC Pavilion in Chicago, which is the same area and region that All In's going to be at, it wasn't much of a success. Now, the UIC Pavilion is not as big as the Sears Center, but still, it wasn't that big of a success. And that's the last time any independent that's basically the last time any major independent organization or independent wrestling in general tried to do something on the levels of a WWF and a WCW. So All In's going to be an interesting situation. Now it is cheap, probably cheaper than anything you can get right now with as far as wrestling pay-per-views or sports entertainment pay-per-views go. I think it's about $35, I believe. But here's the thing. Times have changed in the past 30 years. And it's kind of ironic this is happening 30 years later since Super Clash. But will it be a success? I think it will. I think with the star power they have on there from an independent status, I think it will be a success. I think it'll be a modern. I don't think it'll be. Well, here's the thing. I'm hoping it's a huge success, so that maybe that wakes up the eyes of WWE, and they'll be like, okay, maybe we need to change our game up. Hopefully that's. I'm hoping that's what happens. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of people hope, that happens. That's what indeed happens. That WWE has their eyes opened and they realize, hey, we need to change our product. I'm hoping that, and I'm pretty sure, and I know I'm not alone. But if I was to be real, I do believe it will be a success, but I think it's going to be a very moderate success. And what I mean by that is we will get another All In. There's no doubt about that. Whether Cody, Kenny, and the Young Bucks are part of it or not, we will get an All In. But I don't think it'll be a pay-per-view event. I think, if anything, All In, if they do another one next year, will be a Twitch and YouTube exclusive event. That's what I think it's going to be, because that's a much cheaper platform to go on, and they'll probably still become a moderate success with a second one, even if it's going to be a streaming only event. But I think that's basically what's going to be the end result. Is yes, we will get another All In the following year, but it'll mostly be a Twitch and YouTube like exclusive event. Again, I can't say yay or nay on what's going to, occur at, how it's going to occur at All In, and I can't say yay or nay whether it's going to be a success. I mean, if I'm being realistic, I think it's going to be very moderate. I think the only thing that'll make it more of a success and get people to even watch replays, on-demand replays and all that, I think the one thing that will make it an overall success is if Cody Rhodes becomes the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. That's the only way it's going to be a modern success, is if you have Cody Rhodes do the one thing that not even his brother Dustin was able to do, but his dad did on 3 occasions, and that's win the oldest and most prestigious wrestling championship in the world, the National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight title. That's the only thing that I think is going to help make it a huge financial over-the-top success. If they don't do that, and they have Nick Aldrin's, Mickey James' husband, Magnus, if you will, retain, then it will still be a success, just won't be on the levels that I think they would like it to be. So if they have Cody go over Nick, then that'll make it a huge success, in my opinion. It'll basically give them the boost that they want for this event to be the success they're hoping it will be, that will turn the heads of the entire pro wrestling world around, and maybe have a company like WWE wake up and be like, okay, we need to change our attitude. We need to change how we present ourselves. So hopefully, will it be a success? Yes. Realistically, it'll be a modern one. But if they have Cody go over and word gets out that he went over and became champion, then that's why I think it'll be a huge success, probably more so than anybody could imagine, because then you'll have people wanting to watch the event just to see that moment happen alone. So will it be a success? I think it will be, but I think realistically it'll be a modern one. And I will probably later on today do an all-in preview to give you my thoughts on how I think things might go during this event. So, but yeah. But yeah, that's basically what I think is going to happen. So yeah, I think All In will be a success, but I think unless they put the belt on Cody, it'll be a modern success They put it on Cody. People are going to want to watch the replay just for that. And it will be a huge success. Probably more so than I imagine. All right, fourth topic. Stores already putting Halloween, Thanksgiving, and even Christmas decorations and items out. Yes. It's no joke, folks, that this is happening right now as we speak. A couple of days ago, or several days ago, I'm walking past the aisle areas to go to the back area to get my stuff to go home, right? And I look to my side, and I even posted a video of this here on my channel. I look to my side, and they already have a row kind of hanging right here. It's kind of hanging like right here. I don't know if you actually, it's like you walk by and it's like hanging like right off this thing. And they have a display hanging down of Hallmark Christmas ornaments from 2018 with the Mickey ears to Mickey and Minnie to Star Wars to Ariel, you name it. They have a whole little like lineup of ornaments down like this. And to me, that's way too early. Even somebody commented on my video, on the video I posted, saying it's way too early. So, yeah. But that's not the only thing. Even before that, they started to put out fall festival, harvest related items. But most of these harvest and fall related items are not just related to the harvest time and the fall festivals and all that. But when you take a look at scarecrows and stuff like that, and just the colors, it's mostly related with Thanksgiving. So already, in a sense, we were getting Thanksgiving items out. But then yesterday, which was my first Thursday working, and I'll be doing Monday through Fridays now. This day is the only exception because they will give you certain days off unexpectedly. But yeah, I'll be working Monday through Fridays with Saturdays and Sundays off. Basically, yesterday, which was, like I said, which was my first Thursday working on a regular basis, they're already setting up Halloween. How do I know that? They're taking a majority of the back to school seasonal stuff, like the binders and stuff and all that, moving them to another aisle or moving them back to stationery, or basically they're moving them a couple of aisles down and moving some of them back to stationery. And they're making room and getting things set up for the Halloween stuff. Now, they probably have a majority of that already up, or getting a majority of that already up as I speak and do this live stream. But yeah, they were already setting up for Halloween. And at that time yesterday, we were like, 60 days, 61 days, 60 and a half days away. I mean, today it's 60 days away. But yesterday, we were like 61 days away, and they're already setting up for Wednesday, October 31st. But yeah, they were already putting up the signage. They were measuring like where to put certain metal hangers to put to hang the costumes on metal bars, thrustets, if you will, to put hang the costumes on. Metal bars, I should say, to put the costumes on. They were putting up the signage. They were already bringing out some decorations. In fact, before I left, I think after I got back from my last break, and then when I left, they were already putting out the costumes for the kids and some for the ladies and the kids and the men's. They were putting out some of the costumes already, as well as they were putting out some of the inflatables. So yeah, Halloween is, my store, and I know my store is not the only one, but a variety of stores along with it are already getting set up for Halloween as we speak. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to be seeing a variety in a bunch of spirit stores, which is the yearly 2 month, I think 2 month store that opens up in time for Halloween. So you're going to be seeing a lot of those popping up now too, to get people ready and prepared for Halloween. But yeah, is it getting earlier and earlier as we speak? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, is it getting earlier and earlier every year? Oh, absolutely. I mean, the fact I'm already seeing Christmas ornaments several days before the month of August is out. What the hey, you know? But yeah, they're already setting up the Christmas ornaments and, like I said, fall festival, Thanksgiving stuff, and mostly Halloween. But yeah, is it a little too soon? Absolutely. But guess what? Next month they're going to start setting up the Christmas items down near the garden area. And like I said, my store is not the only one. My company's not the only one that's doing it. You know, Lowe's is doing it, Costco's doing it, Target, you name it, everybody's doing it. Yeah, and I know some of you watching or will be watching are thinking it's too soon. Too soon. And I agree. I agree. Heck, sooner or later you're going to turn on your music choice channels on your cable box, and that's pretty much going to start giving you Christmas music before Thanksgiving's even here. You know, or start playing Halloween music before October is even here. So, go figure. Anyway, though, yeah, my store, along with many others, are pretty much putting up everything holiday season wise, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Fall Festival, and Christmas wise. So, is it too early though? Yeah, it is. So, hopefully that changes in the future. Hopefully somebody will come up with the decision and say, look, this has got to stop. If we're going to start displaying this, let's start displaying it maybe in the middle of the month before. That makes it more sense because it makes more sense to do it that way. All right, finally, let's talk about this topic because this is one that a lot of people are discussing. What animated shows currently right now on television and previously been on television in the past several decades. Okay, basically it's what animated shows currently on television and previously on television, and that being in the past decade, will get a complete Blu-ray set release in the future. The reason I bring this up is when Blu-ray first started to come out and started to get its feet wet and really started to establish itself. And because of that, a lot of the newer series, if not semi-new series, started to get seasonal releases, basic complete season releases, I should say, on Blu-ray. The question always started to come about: what other shows, animated-wise, could get that? And I brought this up with Sarah Nizarak of the Multimedia Chronicles, and he kind of explained that it's not possible. Now, at first, when I first brought this up to him, he was like, yeah, it's kind of impossible. It's not going to work. But I think in time, and again, maybe I got this wrong a little bit, but in time, I think it's like, in time, he's kind of like, yeah, it's possible, but there would probably be, consequences or something. I can't remember. I can't recall. But he said something along the lines of, yeah, it is possible, but there would be like certain sacrifices or something to get the episodes on there. But here's the thing, though: there's a lot of older series, anime and animated, that have gotten a Blu-ray release, and these are series that people wouldn't think would be considered for it. I mean, yeah, are a majority of the complete series sets of animated shows, and even live action shows from the 90s and in the 80s and even the 70s still just released as DVD complete sets? Absolutely. But is there a chance they could get a Blu-ray release? Absolutely. I mean, I'll give you an example. If I can get it out without dropping anything. Actually, I'll just mention it. It's Speed Racer, the 1960s Speed Racer. No one ever would think that was going to get a Blu-ray release, but it did. Heck, I think even Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, which I have the complete series I have the complete series on DVD of. I bought that at my job. I think it even has a Blu-ray set. So it is possible. Now, I'm not saying that, it's because, now I'm not saying, now I'm not, okay. What I'm saying is, I know people are going to come out and say, well, that's because they're anime and, Discotek and all them probably have a deal, and all that to release them like that. Maybe they do. But again, Speed Racer, which was a 1960s series, got a Blu-ray release. And it's still in its 4:3 format. The only way you get it increased to a lot larger, if you want to do it like that, is if you get the DVD release and you have an HDMI output on your DVD player. But the point is, Speed Racer got a release. Gravity Falls, which was a Disney series, got a Blu-ray release, which surprised a lot of people because the majority of the series they would do at the time would only get DVDs. But this got a Blu-ray release. So it makes you wonder, what other series could end up getting it, currently and past. Well, currently, I think one series that I believe is going to get a Blu-ray release, but they're going to wait until the series is complete, is My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Yeah. The spin-offs, Equestria Girls, already got Blu-ray releases because, four of the Equestria Girl spin-offs have been movies. The other stuff with Equestria Girls have only gotten DVD, but the 4 movies have gotten Blu-ray releases. Now, would it make sense to put all the seasons as they individually came out on Blu-ray as well as on DVD? Absolutely. Makes it a lot easier. They're basically formatted in 1080p in high definition. Why not do that? It's because I think DVD right now is a little bit more affordable to do. But I also think they're waiting until the series is over, officially ends, whether it's next season, season 9, or maybe a 10th season, who knows. They're waiting for it to be complete so they can release it as a complete set, not just on DVD, but on Blu-ray. I mean, think about it. I mean, what's the more business savvy sense? Spend so much money on individual Blu-ray seasonal releases, or wait till the entire series is done to do it. To release it on Blu-ray. I'm just saying. But yeah, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is definitely one that's going to get it. It's definitely one that's going to get it. I also think Voltron Legendary Defender, when it's all said and done, is going to get a Blu-ray release. It's already, the season's already coming out on DVD, but I think when that's over, it's going to get a Blu-ray release. I think, honestly, that's what a lot of these newer series, from Friendship is Magic to Legendary Defender and so on, are going to benefit from Blu-rays, because it's going to get a benefit from Blu-ray, because basically the companies that are distributing them are like, look, we can put it on Blu-ray, but let's wait until the series is complete to do so. Look at the people behind Voltron Legendary Defender, the same people behind Avatar and Korra, right? Well, basically, they waited until both Korra and Avatar were completed before they gave them not just complete series set releases, or they basically waited. And okay, what I'm trying to say is they waited until basically the series was completed before they even gave it a Blu-ray release. Yeah, they didn't just give it a complete series DVD release. They gave it a complete series Blu-ray release. And I think that's what they're going to do with Legendary Defender. They're going to wait till that's done, do a complete series DVD release and a complete series Blu-ray release. And the same could be said for Friendship is Magic. Heck, the new She-Ra and the Princesses of Power is probably going to follow suit the same way. The point is, those are some of the series currently, along with, let's say, Star and the Forces of Evil, and even the new DuckTales reboot that I think are going to get inevitable Blu-ray releases, but they're going to wait till the series is complete to do so because it's a lot more cheaper. It's a lot more cheaper when you think about it to do a complete set release, a series set release on Blu-ray than individually spending the money on Blu-ray releases and DVD releases because it runs you up a little bit. So I think they're going to wait until the series is complete to do so. So yeah, those are some of the current series that I think are going to get some. And there could be more. I think Bob's Burgers on animation, Domination, Fox, if you will, is going to get one. You know, American Dad. I think Amazing World of Gumball, when that finishes up, is going to get one. Adventure Time, I think, is going to get one. As much as people hate to say, as much as people have a mixed reaction, mostly negative, Teen Titans Go is going to get one. Heck, I'll even give you this. We got Batman the Animated Series. That should be proof enough getting a freaking deluxe Blu-ray set release, which nobody thought would happen. You can probably inevitably add Superman the Animated Series to that. Justice League to that. Because heck, you got Justice League Unlimited on Blu-ray. You might as well add Justice League to it. So yeah, there's a lot of series I think are going to get inevitable Blu-ray releases that have currently and have previously been on there. And like I said, Superman the Animated Series is one of them. But what other series do I think could benefit from it? I think, honestly, a lot of the Hasbro G1 shows are going to get it. Yeah, I really do. I really think they're going to get it. And they could just keep it the way they are. But I think G.I. Joe, Gem, like I said, G.I. Joe, Gem, Inhumanoids, Transformers G1, My Little Pony G1, My Little Pony Tales, are all going to inevitably find their way onto Blu-ray. And I think it's going to happen sooner than we think. Will it happen next year? Absolutely not. But I think inevitably as the years go on and technology starts to grow and evolve, we're going to get more of these series that we didn't think were possible we didn't think were ever possible at getting a Blu-ray release, getting it. I really do. And those are just some that I named that I grew up on that I think are probably in the runnings for it as well. Disney, I think, will follow suit. Disney will probably make a deal with Shout Factory or do it themselves to where you'll get the classic Disney afternoon shows like Gummy Bears, DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, Wuzzles, New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, Bonkers, Tailspin, Gargoyles, Aladdin, even The Little Mermaid, perhaps even Raw Tunage if they want to do that. I just think a lot of those series, Masupalami, you name it, Timon and Pumbaa, I think a lot of those series, Mighty Ducks, I can go on and on and on, but 101 Dalmatians, the series, the point is a lot of those have the potential nowadays. And like I said, with the fact that we're getting Batman the Animated Series on Blu-ray, which I don't think even Rack thought was possible, with all due respect, it opens the door for those that I've just mentioned, along with the other ones like Superman and all of them, to inevitably be considered for a Blu-ray release. Because what's more attractive to somebody, huh? When you compare the two, what's more attractive? DVD or Blu-ray? Blu-ray, right? Blu-ray is more attractive. And when you think about it, putting a series like Batman the Animated Series and possibly these other ones in the near future onto Blu-ray, that opens the door for inevitably taking that next step to 4K releases. I mean, think about that. Think about that for a moment. Think about in the next 5-6 years, Batman the Animated Series gets a re-release on 4K Blu-ray. Didn't think that would be possible, right? Or imagine if Justice League Unlimited got that. Again, the possibilities are endless. They are endless. So, those are some of the series that I mentioned right there, from Disney to Warner Brothers and all that, that I truly believe are going to be getting Blu-ray releases in the near future. Not right away, but in the near future. Heck, I believe, honestly, Shout Factory and Dick Entertainment, or now DHX, will look at the Sonic franchise, and because the Sonic movie's coming out next year, might even say, hey, let's put the Sonic Sat AM series, Adventure series, and Underground series on Blu-ray. I wouldn't put it past them to probably do that as a promotional way to get people to go see the movie, and may even add one of those get $8 off your purchase ticket kind of deal when you go see it. I wouldn't put it past them to do it. I wouldn't. You know, the same could be said for Sonic X and Sonic Boom. I wouldn't put it past them to do it. I wouldn't. And I don't think anybody else should. I don't think anybody else should. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if they take the OVA anime movie that Nostalgia Critic reviewed recently and put that on Blu-ray as a promotional way. Again, with the fact that Batman the Animated Series is going to get a Blu-ray release, a complete series Blu-ray release, I should tell you something right there. And again, I just honestly think that it's going to happen for a lot of these. And like I said, with the Sonic series, the variety Sonic series that we have, to help promote it, I wouldn't be surprised if the decision comes out to put Sat AM and Underground and Adventures and maybe Sonic X and Sonic Boom on Blu-ray for people to purchase, because that's the more attractive alternative. I wouldn't put it past them to do it. I really wouldn't. So, but really, that's all I could say, folks, on the situation. So really, those are just some of the series I think are going to end up getting Blu-ray releases inevitably, from current to previous, from current to past. But yeah, those are about it. So anyway, let me know what you guys all think about that down below when you get a time to watch this. And that's pretty much going to do it for this Labor Day weekend edition of Topics on My Mind on October 31st, here on August, I should say, 31st, 2018. Thank you all for watching. Let me check my live chat one more time before I sign off. Again, I might be coming back on later to do hopefully without any hiccups on this computer, God willing. I might be coming back on to do an all-in preview and possibly some other live stuff as well. Again, God willing, we don't have any hiccups here. With this live stream, or not live stream, but with this computer. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say, folks. So let me know what you all think down below. Thank you all for watching live. Thank you all for watching post-live after it's been uploaded. Hopefully you take your time with this, and I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.